Welcome back. You are watching Capitol Conversations here at the Minnesota State Capitol. I'm Andi Friedel. I'm joined by my co-host Marty Owings. We were just talking with the two Dan McGraths, Dan McGrath from Minnesota Majority and Dan McGrath from Take Action Minnesota. Neglected to give their website, so wanted to do that quickly. TakeActionMinnesota.org and MinnesotaMajority.org. Ken Avidor is joining me. Hello.
Howdy do.
He is an artist, author, and blogger who lives in Minneapolis, and he's been featured in several local publications. He's done some work for City Pages, done some interesting work, which we'll talk about in a little bit. He's won numerous Society of Professional Journalism Page 1 awards for his illustration work, and he's a regular contributor to the Twin Cities Urban Sketchers site at urbansketcherstwincities.blogspot.com. I'm going to fix your mic here for a second. There you go.
Bring it down a little bit, Catherine? Are we good? Okay. Catherine, our producer, always tells us what to do, and thank you,
Technical
Catherine.
stuff.
Yeah.
All right. So let's get to the big question that just to start us off. How did you get involved in cartooning? Go back a little bit.
Well, I can't remember a time when I didn't draw. I've been
Well, how about political cartooning?
political cartoon. Well, when I was invited on as a political, Marty asked me if I was a political cartoonist, and I really don't think of myself as a political cartoonist, but I seem to do a lot of political art, so I guess that's okay. I'm a political cartoonist.
It's just part of life, is what you're saying.
Pretty much. I think what I do is I sketch a lot, and I was doing some sketching here. Mm-hmm. I sketch all the time, and I guess that's my way of what I kind of try to do is I try to capture reality the way I see it, and it may not be the way everybody else sees it, but as you say, part of reality, part of life is politics, especially here in Minnesota.
One of the things about your work, you come with a particular point of view. Can you tell us what that is? And let me just be more clear, because we've had some criticism from people on the right who think, oh, he's just lefty, he doesn't, whatever, we don't want to give him any credence. But talk about that criticism. Is it a particular?
Oh, I get it from all sides.
Okay.
And that's what's when you're doing something interesting is when everybody is attacking you. I do have people like my stuff though, but like I said, I do some courtroom sketching. Mm-hmm. I sketched at the trial of Tom Petters, and I don't think he. Of course, we can't tell because he's in Leavenworth for 50 years right now, but I don't think he really liked what I did. I don't really think about what people have to say about my work. I don't see myself as coming from any kind of, political. When I do my blogging, I've criticized Democrats, mostly criticized Republicans, but it's again, I call it as I see it.
You've had a good time with Michelle Bachmann. Talk about that.
Thank you, because I did bring a copy of, I'm the co-author of, here, I better hold that up.
Yeah, you can zoom in on it there.
Co-author of The Madness of Michelle Bachmann, published by Wiley & Sons. My co-authors are Carl Bremer, who does the Ripple and Stillwater blog, which is a great political blog, and Eva Young, who's a longtime political activist with LGBT issues and other things as well. And Don Bachmann, which I blog at, mm-hmm. And the book largely is derived from, I think, 4,000 posts, something like that. We've been doing it since 2000. I joined the blog in 2005, but it's been going since 2004. And it's kind of fun to be here at the Capitol because a lot of the stories, and so I do, with my cartoons, I have done illustrated the anecdotes, but a lot of the stories come from right here. Mm-hmm. Like
back when she was serving.
She was a state senator before all that other stuff, before Dancing with the Stars, which she's going to do, by the way. She was.
That's
that was today. If you read,
really? I missed that.
You got to read Don Bachmann.
Okay.
But she was a state senator here, and she did so many bizarre, wacky things, like praying over the deaths of other senators. It's all in the book, so I urge everyone to read it.
Well, how about the other interesting one, or kind of big one is the Tom Petter's trial that
Yes.
you talked about. You were hired by City Pages to do some illustrations.
Yes.
Is that the first time you've ever done that? And tell me what that experience was like.
Well, yes, and I've done a lot of sketching, on-the-spot sketching, and that's what I do with the Urban Sketchers Twin Cities blog. It's actually part of it's a sort of our local franchise. It's a larger, it's a movement, cult. But they asked me to go to the trial and do some sketching, and I also did reporting as well. A very difficult thing to do because you have. I kept little 3x5 cards on my drawing, so while I was drawing, I was taking notes. Drawing, taking notes. Very difficult to do. And then I made videos of it afterwards. So it was a unique way, and I'm going to do it again because his associate Frank Venice his financier brought over $1 billion to his Ponzi scheme. That's coming up in May, so stay tuned. That's going to be a really interesting trial. I should also mention that American Greed on CNBC, it's a great show, by the way, they're going to have Tom Petter's, an episode about Tom Petter's on the 22nd of February.
Oh,
And there may be some Ken Avidor sketches in it.
all right. Well, it's an interesting way to look inside a courtroom since there are no video cameras here in Minnesota, and just get an idea of what's going on.
Well, actually,
during the trial.
got to make a distinction.
Yeah.
The state courts,
In the state courts.
Well-
Oh, this is federal court.
federal court, they're much strict, but
Yeah.
state courts are now allowing cameras.
Yeah.
And that's what happened to me. I went to a hearing, and the uptake, they sent me there.
Yep.
And I was sketching away, and suddenly, right in the middle of the hearing, the judge, state court judge, said, "I've changed my mind. I'm going to allow the cameras in."
Oh,
So this 19th century thing that I do, sketching, as reportage, was suddenly vanquished by the modern era. I had to make way for the cameras. But it is a real challenge, and that's what I like about sketching in court.
Well, I wanted to ask you a question, Ken. From looking at your work and some of the books you've produced, or the book and a couple other things, it's pretty clear to me that you do have a bias, although, you say that you get insulted from both sides. That's okay. It doesn't mean you don't have a bias. At least it seems to be the subject of your subject matter. What shapes your politics? Has that limited the work you can do in any way?
I would say that
Mitch Berg's not calling you to do cartoons for Shot in the Dark.
he's my biggest fan.
That's what I hear. Yeah, he likes to mention that.
I have very strong views about the environment. I think that's a primary issue. It should be, I think, an issue for everyone. So I think I used to have a comic called Roadkill Billows in the Pulse every week, and I explored from the view of a squirrel who gets run over a lot. He had this tire track permanently on him,
Yeah.
but it was about issues about resource depletion, pollution, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But that's my main. That's where I come out of, and there's these other areas. In the environment, unfortunately, has become political. I don't think it should be.
At least environmental stuff.
Yes, and the other issues that I care about are, well, like what you were just talking about, issues of fairness, justice.
Yeah.
I think those are universal issues things that everyone should be in favor
You
of.
mean they're not just Irish?
Absolutely. Yeah. If it weren't for the McGraths of the world.
Yeah, right.
now one of the
Yeah.
criticisms you had was you were against light rail. Was that?
Oh my gosh! No.
I read that wrong.
Yes, actually, I'm a huge fan of light rail and all forms of public transit. There's something that the last time I spent time here at the Capitol was when they were back in 2005 and 2004 when they were considering something called personal rapid transit, which may find its way onto the bonding bill. We shall see. If it does, you'll have to call me back because I'm an expert on this. It's over.
For or against?
against personal rapid transit.
Personal, I think that was my confusion.
And that's
Okay,
a euphemism
mass
for
rapid
what?
transit, good, personal, bad.
To make it clear, it's little pods on a monorail.
Yes,
And
I-
this goes back 50 years. If you recall a fellow named Representative Mark Olson, he was a proponent of it, former City Councilman Dean Zimmerman, and Michelle Bachmann.
oh, all the three of them together.
Oh, yeah, and she was actually a co-author of a bill for this rather wacky, and because I'm a cartoonist and I like wacky things, I felt drawn to this, and I was also asked by people out of from Ohio and some other places. They emailed me after I wrote something about it, and they said, when are you Minnesotans going to stop pushing this thing? And I said, it's not me. And they said, well, you got to do something about it. So I'm doing something about it.
And so Bachmann, Congressman Michelle Bachmann's written quite a few books. She's never called you for one illustration in any of those
Well,
voluminous tomes.
well,
she
I
puts out.
have to say that the book, the Madness of Michelle Bachmann, is all facts. There's no cartoons in it. And Wiley they do textbooks. It's all nonfiction. We made a decision not to put any funny stuff in, but if people Google me, they can find all the funny stuff.
She won't sign them for you.
I never asked her. But,
Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
Sound.
I want to see, you
Oh.
did a sketch. Can
Yeah.
you show us when we
Yes.
were in our earlier segment
Well,
with
here's
the
Marty.
Dan McGrath?
Marty and Dad McGrath.
That's right. Yeah, it's pretty good. Hey,
That's you. That's you.
Yeah, you couldn't make me any younger.
Well, that's see, this
Put
is
some hair on his head.
everyone does it. They say, "Oh, you should have made me younger." Yeah.
Well, I know. I get the same thing.
And by the way, I did another drawing here.
Yeah,
Did you
let's
get
see.
that?
That's actually fantastic.
Oh,
If
thank you.
Yeah.
guys
Well, here, I'll let you.
missed that
You can hold
previous-
this, and then I can show the other one, which
Yeah.
you haven't seen yet.
the previous segment, this is a great sketch.
And it's too bad I didn't get the other Dan McGrath. But, now this is right behind us. Is this?
Oh
Right.
my God, that's beautiful.
that's right.
Yeah, this is. Oh,
That's the
thank you.
right
You got us pointed
over our
toward the
shoulder.
camera.
So,
Yeah.
yep, let's
So-
look at the camera first.
Yeah, and on the facing page, by the way, there's a great exhibit. Speaking of politics, at the Minnesota History
It's the
Center.
1960s, right?
68, just
68.
1
Okay.
year. It's amazing how much happened in 1 year, and they have the very same Eugene McCarthy button that I have.
Okay.
It's one of my prized
That you've
possessions.
held for since.
I met Eugene McCarthy, and he's a wonderful guy. Was a wonderful guy.
1968, I've often heard said that if you really lived it, you don't remember it. Am I wrong?
I think you're talking about. They do have a lot about the drugs. Yes, they do. Yes.
Catherine, did you get that? Okay. And you just did that one.
Shortly
While
before
we
I.
were
Yeah, shortly before.
We're going to go through some of your cartoons, and I wonder if you can walk us through this. Catherine will let us know when we're ready to press play here, but I've got them here to show you. So, all right. So this, and I'll get rid of that. The first ones, and these are going to go kind of very fast, but obviously, police. There's Michelle Bachmann.
Yes,
right?
that's from the blog. Now the previous one of the police with the hamburger, that was Minnesota Law and Politics, which was a wonderful publication. Unfortunately, it's not around anymore.
More Michelle Bachmann.
That was from a comic book, a Michelle Bachmann comic book, and there again. I was at the convention. You remember that?
Yeah.
The Republican. That's
Here in St. Paul.
yes, and this is Tom Petters and some other folks.
They're
Going
going
awfully fast.
Hey,
Well,
there's-
the one about this, the fellow sketching, that was an assignment. I do illustration, and they liked my courtroom sketches. They wanted a video game character
Yeah.
pleading before the Supreme Court, and he won his case, by the way. And that's
Broadcorp lineup, is that what that is?
well, we don't know.
We might know.
And that's from the Cucking Stool, which is a great blog, by the way.
This is
That is Bradley Dean, who gave the prayer here.
Yep, I remember.
And this is Alan Quist, which
Oh,
I think he ran for governor, by the way.
These are-
And this is a non-Minnesotan, but she's been here. One
Yeah.
of and there's Frank Venice,
Who you're going to be doing his trial coming up.
and that is a made-up scene. And then Bradley Dean again.
And these are like the Garbage Pail Kids cards of the 80s fame.
Yes, so that actually one of my blogs is trading cards of Michelle Bachmann's associates, who you can read about in the book. They're all very interesting. But I may be starting a new trading card series with all. I think it's going to be called Republican Legislator All Stars. I think that's the working
Okay.
title of it. I may include, people who are not on the team as supporting.
Current former? Or?
Dan McGrath might make it.
Well, what
using
about the poor Democrats? They don't get any love?
Yeah, where's their...
They're just not as. It's just not as much, with some exceptions. I think. I mean, entertaining. Rukavina, I think, is
Yeah, Tom Rukavina.
lots of fun.
We're going to have him on the program, hopefully.
Yeah, but the entertainment factor is clearly with the Republicans. I get a big kick, and they're fun to draw.
Yeah. Well, it's been great to talk to you, and I think it's important to see politics from that artistic side, whatever side of the aisle you sit on. But it's really good to see that through your lens, and I enjoy that. So thanks so much for joining
Well,
us.
thanks for having me on the show.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Any
you being our guest.
websites you want to mention?
All people have to do is just Google Ken Avidor, and they'll get to all of them.
Yeah, urbansketchers-twincities.blogspot.com is the site you manage locally. And there's, as you mentioned, it's part of a bigger collective. There's the national and the worldwide
yes.
Urban Sketchers. Yeah, I know. I tried to crack in. They won't let me in. I might have a chance at the Twin Cities, though.
Anyone can join. We welcome people to. We go on sketch outs. We call them. We go everywhere.
Right. I love
State
that.
Fair is the most fun sketch out.
Oh,
It's
I'm
always
sure.
a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah. Corn dog. Michelle Bachmann's had her own experience, or was it Palin at the fair? Oh, no. There was a corn dog involved, and it made all the blogs.
Oh, that was in
yeah.
Iowa.
Yeah,
that was
in
our
Iowa.
Was it Iowa?
fair.
Well, wasn't
Yeah.
It wasn't Minnesota's state
No.
fair.
I
Gosh
have
darn.
I have the corn dog on the City Pages cover a couple of weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, okay.
And
Well,
and Marcus. She's dancing with Marcus and the corn dog. I had everything in there.
wow. Well, it's been a
They're
great.
fun. They're fun.
It's been great to have you on.
All right. Well, thank you.